Everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. This is our Beast Tamer Bard build, episode 197. We are in the flesh markets of Alushanira. We kind of want to kill everyone here, but at the same time, we also want to hear what everyone has to say. So we're walking around talking to people. We're gonna go talk to Ramisa the slave trader. Cool. The eyes of the translucent Merilith carefully observe her surroundings. It seems this is not merely an image, but a projection of the creature's consciousness, while her physical body is located somewhere far from here. Next to Merilith fidgets a shriveled mandragora. Mandragora! Which utters the occasional displeased shriek. A visitor from another plane. I am Ramisa, also known as Slough? Slough? It's Slough, isn't it? I always confuse whether or not it's Slough or Slough. Slough. Pronunciation. I think it's Slough, right?
Slough, also American, slew.
Slough in British, American slew. Oh my god. There's so many. It depends. Oh no, okay. Okay, great. If you mean wet swampy ground, it's either a slough or a slew. Slough as in rhymes with cow, right? But if it's shedding skin, it's slough, as in to slough off. Interesting. Okay. So that's thank you, English, for always being a pain in my ass as a native speaker. Okay, so I'm assuming Merilith, snake skin. This is going to be sloughed skin. Okay. Also known as sloughed skin. And I am no simple vendor, but a true artist of the slave trade. Oh, great. How's it going, Mayokai? The boy gets them pets. How are you doing tonight? What would you like to acquire? Perhaps your enemy's son or daughter, bound by magic and powerless in the face of anything you might wish to do to them? An attractive person who once dared reject you? The little brat who bullied you as a child? Alushanira is the city where all your dreams come true. The Merilith licks her lips, especially if they are dirty, bloody, and sweet dreams of possession or revenge. This place is horrible. This place... So, we've been actually having a good time in Alushanira, and then they finally smacked me in the face with the, don't forget, this is the Abyss, these are demons, it's bad. Yay. Fantabulous. Ugh. I hate dealing with slavers in video games. It just makes me want to kill all of them every time it happens. Video games. Once, when I was very little and Azada stepped on my tail, and he didn't even say he was sorry. But if you think I would ever ask you to catch him for me, you are a truly foolish and unscrupulous demon. I would never deal with someone like you. If the memory still stings once I'm back in Elysium, I'll find that Azada and step on his tail myself. Nice. Oh, what a sweet and adorable dragon, and from Elysium no less. How cute. Don't try to suck up to me. I know a suck up when I see one. Ivu proudly turns up her nose. What do you mean by artist of the slave trade? While others trade for material gain, I do it for art. Unlike others, I am not involved in the faceless shipment of goods. Each slave who passes through my hands has a personality. Each sale is a spiritual experience. Not long ago, I sent my hunters to track down and capture a brave rebel fighter for the freedom of his people. And then I sold him, chained and dressed as a pleasure slave to the tyrant who had enslaved his homeland. Some may call it cliché, but I call it classic. I'm feeling validated. What I see standing here is just your projection. Certainly. It is not safe to appear in the flesh markets in person, especially for someone like me. You see, before I switched to this line of work, I was a humble gardener. I used to grow mandragoras. Mandragoras? Mandragoras, I think. What's your pronunciation? That's what I was thinking. I get the mandragora from...
When you said it like that, I didn't actually know. I thought it was just made up. Like,
Right.
Then you said it, and I was like...
Bruh. I get the mandragora from Jay and his incessant enjoyment of .hack and his quoting of .hack stuff. That's where we get, oh no, Melon. Yeah, that's where that shit comes from. It was for a very long time. It's a throwback. We still get it every once in a while. I should make that into an emote. Huh? Yeah. You know me, I wax and wane on the phrases. Can't stay with the same thing. Finding them paths. I'm trying to find my way into killing a whole bunch of slavers is what I'm trying to find. It's a well-known fact that mandragoras grow if you water an ordinary weed with demon blood, or if you plant it on a demon's corpse. The allies, lovers, and masters of those I turned into fertilizer are still searching for me. Thus I conduct my business remotely. In the same way, when I have slaves to sell, I first show their projections. Only after they're sold do I deliver them to the buyer. I do actually want to kind of see what, because it's a projection, so I'm assuming nothing happens. Or maybe we have to fight them mandragoras. Your attack causes no visible harm to the projection. The Marilith yawns theatrically. I'll outlive each and every resident of Lushnima. You didn't really give me the option of a purchase, so I'm guessing you're just here for shits and giggles. Whirlong Black Mask.
Beautiful.
Hide of a magical creature. Okay. What was the second one? Fearless Flirt. Oh, right. That guy's back at the tavern. I remember. I remember. Let's talk to this one. Selling skilled gladiators, I see. A stern-looking demon stands before you, bristling with what seems an arsenal of weapons, and his copious scars suggest he's been hacked to pieces more than once. His face is hidden under a grotesque obsidian mask attached to his flesh by thin strips ending in hooks. The hooks are threaded into the skin, and the wounds bleed profusely as if inflicted mere moments ago. The mask resembles a sinister black mollusk enveloping the face of its victim. What the fuck? That paints an interesting picture. When he speaks, the slaver's voice is muffled. Greetings, stranger. I am Whirlong, legend of the Battle Bliss. Are you looking to buy some battle slaves? You need weapons for yourself and your needs. Who are you? I am Whirlong Black Mask. I was the champion, and I fought and killed my mistress, Shamira. I worshipped her. I was her slave and her bodyguard. He was flattered by the many killings dedicated to her honor and by the shouts of the crowd chanting her name. But then I had a dark revelation. I realized Shamira was not worthy of my worship. He owned me, but my true mistress was the one that entered the arena with me, her hand in mine. death. So I dedicated my next victim to her instead of Shamira. My mistress was enraged. She arranged a fight in the arena, one I had no hope of winning. I was hacked, cut, torn apart, choked, ground to dust by magic, and impaled on spears. But still I would not die. My remains were stitched back together piece by piece. Death was with me that day, and I returned even more powerful. But the fights lost their appeal after that. An immortal gains no glory fighting mortals. So I left the arena. I no longer kill by my own hand. Now I offer my gifts to death by the hands of the gladiators I train. I take their names and their dreams, and in return I give them weapons, the dark revelation of death. Okay. What is that mask you wear? This is gonna be a fucking heavy night. I'm glad I'm fucking drinking. God damn. The first champion fought wearing this. The final champion will fight wearing it on the day this world ceases to exist. In this mask I was invincible, and I conquered the battle bliss, and made all Elushanira bow before me. I thought to pass it to Gelderfang, my apprentice, but despite his many talents in the art of killing, he loved his life far too much. He was afraid of death, too frightened to fight me, take the mask. Not a true gladiator, not a real champion. But no one aside from the true children of the arena is capable of understanding. This mask is strikingly different from the ones we were looking for to solve the riddles in the nameless rooms. Still, it's unique. I would like to examine it. Honored demon, hand it over immediately for experiment. I promise to try not to break it. No. Interesting. A Tang growth. I want that. Please? No. I'll mention your name in my encyclopedia. Over my dead body. Fine. I'm doing this for some. Wow. Ninio turns to look at you, expectation in her eyes. Ninio, give it a rest. But what about the experiment? Ninio lowers her head, and for a brief moment you think she may burst into tears. But the next moment she raises her head and looks at you without any hint of what just happened. Because she decided to forget it. Alright. Show me weapons you're selling. My gladiators come from a range of planes and are accustomed to fighting in different styles, so I have quite a wide selection. I am positive you will find something that fits your hand, no matter how many hands nature gave you. The slaver chuckles, pleased with his own joke. The items I have here are the best examples of Nahindrian weapons and armor. Why do you keep calling them Nahindrian? Rumors have been going around about some magical Nahindrian crystals that grant immense power to their owners. No one knows for certain where they come from or what they really are. Everyone desires them. Elushanira has become obsessed with all things Nahindrian. That's why everyone in Elushanira calls top quality goods Nahindrian. Show me what you got. Okay. He's got quite a few magical weapons. Let's go actually through these. Impending Demise. That is a psi. +5. Automatically confirms critical hits against flanked enemies. All enemies are flanked enemies for us, pretty much. Has a critical range of 18 to 20 instead of 20. Wow. That's pretty cool. Actually, honestly, pretty neat. We do not use size. That is not going to be used. Decay Spreader. Sling Staff. +5 Corrosive Sling. Gets +2 bonus to damage rolls for every corpse within a 50-foot range from them. That's interesting. We don't use Sling Staffs. Exterminator. +3 Living Bane Great Sword. A +5 bonus on saving throws against necromancy school spells, but reduces their maximum HP by 20 while equipped. Yeah. What's Living Bane? Excels against certain foes. +2, so it would be a +5, and deals 2d6. Living Bane, I'm assume works against the living? So anything that's not undead, that's pretty broad. That seems maybe like I need more specification on that, because is it elementals, right? Is it demons? Because that could be good, right? Could be pretty okay. But not like the end all be all. Odds evener. We don't use nunchucks, so probably not, but is a plus 10 competence bonus on athletic skills chance and immunity to flanking. Whenever the wielder has more than one enemy in a 5-foot radius, he deals additional 1d6 bludgeoning damage on every successful hit. That's pretty nice, actually. Short spear. Now, fucking Social does actually use short spears, so this could be interesting. But it's unholy. +4 unholy short spear deals an additional 2d6 piercing damage against large or bigger creatures. When it hits small or lesser creatures with 100 or less HP, the enemy must pass a fortitude saving throw, DC 26, or be instantly killed. And small creatures do tend to have lower fortitude saving throws, comparatively. So that is actually something that could happen. Question there, though, is how many small creatures do we deal with? Although, of course, the flip side is 2d6 damage against large or bigger creatures, right? That's kind of cool. And then it's unholy, right? But that means it would work against evil aligned creatures. Or, yeah, sorry. It will work against good aligned creatures, doing an additional 2d6, so unlikely to happen for the majority of enemies that we're fighting throughout the game. Still, it's kind of like maybe you get 2d6 sometimes, maybe you get a chance to insta-kill something, and on the very rare occasion, maybe you get 4d6. Could be cool. Actually, does not seem horrible. It's 98k, and that's a lot of money. So that's like a lot of money. Interceptor. We have a rapier here. +5, finesse wielding, keen. +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls on attacks of opportunity. That's pretty nice. If an attack of opportunity results in a killing blow, the wielder can make one extra attack during the next round. Yeah, that's actually really cool. If we still used Camellia, or if she was still alive, that might actually be kind of like a go-to weapon. Alright, we got an S-Stock, Night Flash, Shock Speed Enhancement +5. This +5 speed shock S-Stock grants its wielder a +5 bonus to initiative roll. It's pretty, actually. We don't use S-Stocks. We use Tongis, +5, Anarchic Tongi. Successfully charges at an enemy. The enemy uses its dexterity bonus to AC for 1 round. That's pretty cool. A Falcata. Whenever the wielder of this +4 Cruel Bleed Falcata is engaged in melee with a single enemy and there are no other enemies in a 15-foot range, the enemy gets a -2 penalty on attack rolls and saving throws. That's interesting. Mamer. Whenever the wielder of this +5 comma lands a first sneak attack in a round against an enemy, the enemy must pass a will saving throw DC 27 or suffer -3 penalty on all attack rolls, saving throws, and skill checks for 1 rounds. Still kind of cool. Sickle. We don't use commas. We don't use Sickle. Whenever the wielder of this +5 unholy sickle lands a hit on an enemy, the enemy gets +2 bonus to random ability score and 1 stack of unholy might. Whenever a creature with at least 1 stack of unholy might dies, it deals 1d6 unholy damage to all enemies in a 20-foot radius for every stack it had. What the fuck kind of complicated shit is that? Unholy Might is like a legitimate buff, though. Like, so the idea is you potentially stack a couple of Unholy Mights and then boom, 46 to all enemies in 20-foot radius, right? Please use its unholy damage. I don't think that's matter very much to us. Cool, but don't think it's going to matter very much to us. Unexpected resolution. Short sword. Where this +5 short sword lands a hit on the enemy, one of the following effects randomly happens. It deals additional 66 slashing damage to that enemy. Okay. It deals 1d4 to one of the enemy's ability scores. Okay. It heals the enemy for 3d4 hit points. Okay. It deals 3d4 damage to the wielder. Okay. Or the enemy suffers a -3 penalty to attack and damage rolls for 1d6 rounds. What the fuck is this weapon? Okay, so that's 5 effects. 3 of the effects are good for the wielder. 2 of the effects are bad, but they're minorly bad, right? Like 3d4, healing the enemy for 3d4, that's a maximum of 12. Who cares, right? Like, honestly, who gives a shit whether or not you healed the enemy for 12, right? You're going to be doing a fair amount of damage, probably each hit. So maybe you're negating some of the damage that you dealt. But, I mean, statistically, you have a chance to deal 66. So you're always statistically doing more than you are healing, right? Dealing 3d4 to yourself, again, 12 damage, whatever. I mean, if you got a really bad, like, if you have, like, 5 attacks and you got a really bad series of doing 3d4 to yourself, maybe that would be an issue. But, you know. This is pretty interesting. I don't know that we have anyone who really uses short swords at this particular moment. This would be one of those scenarios, though, like, I might use this on, like, Woljif or someone like that in the future. I could totally see that working. But I don't know that we want to pay 99,000 for it, right? This game's surprisingly, I feel surprisingly constricted for money. Though, again, we basically all of our weapons, so we probably should have, I don't know, like 500, 600k right now. Frostbite. So much stuff here. Icy Burst Frost. Whenever the individual lands an attack of opportunity, the enemy must pass a reflex saving throw. DC 30 is a legitimate save, or become entrapped in ice, paralyzing it for 1 round. Interesting. That's cool. Composite Longbow could be something for Arushale. Bleed Composite Enhancement +5. Whenever the wielder of this +5 Bleed Longbow confirms a critical hit, the enemy suffers 1d6 direct damage for every 5 feet that enemy travels for 2 rounds, involuntary movement included. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, I don't think the effect is that great from a base, but we do want to move Arushale over to a longbow. It is better. It is more damage. The only reason she's on a short bow is because I had Lan on longbows, and we're not really using Lan anymore, except for when it's Lan story stuff. So, anyways, moving along. Sky Scorcher, +5 Flaming Burst Javelin. Grants its wielder a +5 confidence bonus on mobility checks. It also stuns flying enemies for 1 round on critical hit. Cool. +4 Holy Earth Breaker allows its wielder to cast Greater Dispel Magic at will as a wizard of level equal to the wielder's character level. That's actually kind of neat. Mighty Advisor, +4 Dragonbane. Dwarven War Axe. We don't use Dwarven War Axes. Doubles any insight bonus to attack and damage the wielder might have. Longsword, +3. +3 Holy Longsword counts neutral enemies as evil. What the fuck? Also allows its wielder to counter neutral enemies as evil upon using Smite. Okay, gotcha. That's kind of neat. And it is holy, so it does do an additional 2d6 damage, which is pretty good. The fact that it's a +3 weapon, though, is a little meh, comparatively. And then we have Winter's Mark. 2-bladed sword. That long sword seems way more useful anywhere but the main campaign. Yeah, I mean, yes, you're not incorrect. Also, how's it going, Wade Denham? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, that totally feels like a, I mean, the vast majority of main character enemy or main story enemies are evil. So, this just casts a slightly wider net. So that's kind of why I'm not like just jumping on it. It's this scenario of like, one, it's a +3, and two, it's just slightly useful. All of these weapons kind of have that effect of like, that's just slightly useful. That's okay. Whatever. Whenever the wielder of this +5 Frost 2-bladed sword hits a new medium or smaller creature for the first time, the enemy suffers an additional 2d6 cold damage. Whenever the wielder hits a new large or bigger enemy for the first time, the enemy must pass a Fortitude saving throw, DC 30, or be surrounded with a frost aura, making all other enemies in a 15-foot radius become vulnerable to cold damage for 3 rounds. Okay, that's kind of interesting, truth be told. +3 can be fixed with greater magic weapon, easy enough. That's fair, yeah. Love that sword on your Midnight Isles Paladin for Mark of Justice. Cool. That's fair enough. This is actually a pretty interesting sword as well. The only issue being is that most demons have resistance to cold damage, so probably not going to end up being that big of a deal. But still a very neat sword. Okay, I don't think we have anything there that we're just like, oh my god, I must purchase this. So we're not going to worry about it at the moment. But I'm kind of just getting that whole, like, I want to see what everyone has type thing. So continuing on with that idea, let's see what Warlong has for flesh. Selling death itself. Death lurks in my gladiators' hands and their eyes. They can kill so swiftly you will not even see them strike. They can kill so slowly their opponent's death makes the spectators shiver in ecstasy. And they embrace their own deaths with such dignity that their names soar from the lips of the crowd into the dark sky, straight into the hands of death. The gladiators, a mix of all races and ages, do indeed look tough and dangerous. Their powerful bodies, bloodthirsty gazes, and deft yet casual grips on their weapons show them to be true masters of their art. They resemble a pack of predators at rest before a bloody hunt, where they will rip, tear, and gut their prey. The glances they exchange are amiable, but not warm. For tomorrow, each may have to kill the other in front of the screaming cloud. Crowd. My god. Want to know what some of the options are. There's glory to be gained in fighting in the arena, you say? There certainly is. The gladiator fights are the most popular entertainment here in the Evolution era. There is no better way to acquire fame and glory than to step into the battle bliss and take another's life. If your slaves are that good in a fight, why don't they rebel and free themselves? The arena is their home, the other gladiators their family. The fight's their sole purpose in life. Fighting is their only path to glory and a carefree life of luxury. But to win in the arena, you need a distinguished and influential master who will provide you with an experienced trainer, good weapons, and decent and skillful lovers to salve your wounds? Alright. Because that's definitely a requirement. I mean, Might be a requirement for some endurance. Otis DeBotis. Welcome. 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 Odie DeBodie. Okay. But would such a distinguished and influential demon take on just any no-name wannabe? Of course not. That's why when a demon wishes to purchase a gladiator for the arena, they come to me. And the best fighters pay enormous sums to become my slaves and trainees. I'm their only hope of making it top. Okay, I want to know about the price for purchasing. Smiling at the gladiator's bellowing battle cry, the slaver examines you with a sharp look. The straps of the mask tighten slightly, making the skin wrinkle. Finally, he nods. You look genuine. You are a killer. I suppose I can sell you my gladiators. 35,000 gold coins. For the 35,000 enemies they'll kill in your honor. No deal. It is a great and unholy gift to have gladiators die with your name on their lips. As death takes them away, she will hear your name. When your time comes, she'll remember you. Sin to death far more painful. It's a great honor. Do not refuse it. Okie dokie. My god. This fucking place. Bugging me up. Okay, who else do we have to talk to? Venture Captain Kristoff. Sorry, Gristoff, not Kristoff. Oof. A lean old man with his back as stiff as a pikestaff casts a piercing look at you. His gray hair and luxurious sideburns, interesting, grant him an imposing and significant demeanor. Greetings. I am Count Gristoff. I just want to say Kristoff. Gristoff Rolano. Royano? Royano? Probably Royano. I can't roll R's very well. Oh, he really does have the sideburns, though. And that mustache. Holy crap. I have the honor of serving as a venture captain of the Pathfinder Society, heading the branch of the society in Alushanira and its adjacent territories. If you need the services of Pathfinders, I can be of assistance. Is this my respec guy? Casting a sharp look at you, Kristoff hands you a sealed letter. Hey. I admit your appearance here did not surprise me, because I recently received this letter. It is addressed to you, and I have held it in anticipation of your arrival. Okay. The letter appears in the rough but legible handwriting of a person who doesn't write often. Greetings, Commander. I'm sorry to bother you with any requests when you are busy with a difficult and dangerous mission, but my situation is extremely serious. I have found the trail of the Spinner of Nightmares. Her agent in Nerosian fell into our hands and revealed during interrogation that the last known lair of the Spinner was in Alushanira, in a block called the 10,000 Delights. Knowing the habits of the Spinner of Nightmares, I'm inclined to believe that she used to live in the heart of a giant brothel. My poor Lowry might still languish in this horrible place. I'm begging you to look for her or any traces of the Spinner. Righty then. What's in it? The tone of the venture captain is cold, like it's been just delivered from the crown of the world. I'm not in the habit of reading letters addressed to others, and I have no idea why you would think otherwise. However, knowing venture captain Hylor, I would assume that it's about his persistent vendetta with the dangerous sorcerer called Spinner of Nightmare. How did Hylor deliver this letter to you? Kristoff smiles with amusement. The Pathfinder Society has many agents across many different planes. They, along with the touch of magic, provide us with the most widespread and effective mail delivery service you can imagine. Cool! They're the postman. Take the letter. My duty has been done. Alright, and this is totally the stuff. We can respec here. Cool. Tell me about yourself. I'm a noble, a good Asmodean. A good Asmodean? Is that like an oxymoron? Like, a good Asmodean? A Pathfinder who earned the honor of being sent with the most unwanted task to the most repulsive point in the world. And ready to provide you with a few good fighters. What else are you interested in? Who are you? The old man lifts his chin and carefully strokes his amazing sideburns. Christoph Royano of Long March, a hereditary count of Cheliax and venture captain of the Pathfinder Society, at your service. Bodis Bodis. The Pathfinder Society has long planned to open a branch in the Abyss. For obvious reasons, such an appointment didn't make anyone especially happy. However, as people of honor, we Pathfinders of my lodge couldn't let squeamishness stand in the way of duty. All of us volunteered for this mission, and then the Decemvirate chose me, the most suitable candidate. Why were you sent to the Abyss? The venture captain shrugs. To buy slaves, of course. Or rather, redeem slaves. The Pathfinder Society sent me to provide help to dwellers of Golarion who have been enslaved by demons. Every day I go to the slave market with a bag of gold, and I return to our shelter with a crowd of poor folk, whose freedom I've managed to buy. Unfortunately, there are always too many slaves and too little gold. We send the ones we save to Golarion. Some of them are opportunists and fighters who were unlucky enough to be imprisoned. They are grateful to the society and are ready to provide services to repay us for their rescue. Many people who are looking for mercenaries contact me. My charges go to serve them, and the payments for their services fill our coffers for continued redemption of slaves. What you do is merciful. I personally think that an enemy has to be fought against, not traded with. But the management of the Pathfinder Society did not heed my advice. Column A, column B, right? You know? There is not an army mounting against the forces of Elutionira, meaning that the slaves that are here right now are not being rescued. Except for by what you do. Try both. It's like living in the Abyss. Christoph scans the landscape slowly, with dignity, and then says demurely, "Abominable. The Abyss is a savage place, where everything that can be designed in a wrong way is." Everything is clear. I have to go. I want to see what can be done with this whole providing funds thing. I want to help the society by providing funds. The society has fixed charity rates, preventing corruption. I personally find this practice very wise. A donation for the prisoners of the Abyss is 50,000 gold coin. The price is high, but if it will give freedom to the unfortunate, so be it. Base profit is not worth more than a life. I'm kind of incentivized to immediately just drop the coin for this. Right, like, buying slaves off the slavers, less inclined. Giving gold to the Pathfinder Society to free slaves, more inclined, right? Handle this gold wisely. The Count respectfully takes the money from your hands. The Pathfinder Society is grateful for your help, Commander. The unfortunate folk enslaved by demons will glorify your name throughout the Abyss. Okay, we need to remember that we can come back here and respec.
Together?
Why are you off your horse? We already talked to Sarzaxis, right? I believe so. Oh, no. I thought we did. Yeah. Otis the Botis, you're a big totus. Got big toes. Get them big paws. Them big mitts. Get them big mitts. Them tiny heads. Okay. Curse. Portal up. Okay. Now we know we need to talk to Sargaxus. We also have Curse to talk to. We also have Diuk, Navarro. I think these are the Asimar that we're supposed to be rescuing. Yeah. A grotesquely fat demon speaks to a demoness standing in front of him, his voice irritated yet slightly sycophantic. If you want to get these sweet Asimar for the 10,000 delights, cough up 50,000. Just look at how delicious they are. These girls haven't yet been whipped. Your clients will be clamoring for them. And after they become too worn out, they'll make a magnificent stew. Fucking demons, yo. I'll give you 30 if you stop talking rubbish, Diunk. Or keep going, and you can steer clear of my Palace of Delights. You can pleasure yourself on your own, you fat chunk of rotten meat. You want to get on Chivaro's bad side? Do you really want that? Chivaro. Chivaro? Is Chivaro the second of Shamira? Is that where we've heard her name before? Gotta catch a chingling. The Asimar slaves standing nearby try to avoid looking at the angry demoness. Even in their miserable position, they retain the mark of inner purity and nobility inherent to their kind. Puffing himself up, the fat demon answers abruptly and angrily. 50,000! For these delightful, innocent creatures your shabby and worn-out demonesses can't hope to compete with. That is my final offer. Stay away from the 10,000 delights. You can have your own little morsels pleasure you from now on, you greedy, horny piece of shit. Alright then. That's negotiation right there. The distinguishingly fleshy demon greets you with a wave, his arm encased in roll after roll of fat. Allow me to present my living wares. The finest household slaves to serve you and entertain your body and spirit. They can even satiate most exquisite cravings. The demon accompanies his last claim with voluptuous lip smacking. What were you arguing about with that demoness? She wanted to buy my beautiful Asimar concubines for her palace of pleasures, the 10,000 delights. Unfortunately, her common sense and good taste couldn't compete with her greed. She offered me a paltry price, next to nothing, instead of gratefully paying the full sum for these slaves, offering 30,000 for a group of innocent, pure Asimars shipped here with the utmost care. No one has laid a single finger on them. No one has taken a single bite out of them. It's simply outrageous. Alright then. Who are you? I am Diunk. Diunk? Diunk? I don't know. The slave trainer. When I was younger and much, much slimmer. Much slimmer? You're in Alfeshne. How much slimmer were you ever? I was a dashing raider. I spent my days abducting concubines from other planes for the harem. I'm gonna harem. No. Ow! Ow! Don't get me, Otis. For the harems of the most powerful lords of the abyss. My experience, however, has shown me that raising and training pleasure slaves from an early age is a much more profitable and much less risky business. That's why I now own the largest and most respectable slave farm, where I breed representatives of various races from different planes, though I haven't entirely given up on raiding. His deceptively slow movements and soft folds of flesh fail to hide the powerful muscles beneath. This demon could likely lift a wagon with 2 horses by himself. What you have for sale? Just feast your eyes on them. The most exquisite pleasure slaves, raised in comfort and luxury at your service. They are well trained, neat, docile, and stand ready to become ideal servants for your manor. All of them are young and healthy, a perfect state of ripeness. The demon bursts into sickening cackling, and then whispers to you confidently. Of course, we have made sure that their tender flesh meets the expectations of even the most demanding gourmet. They have no inkling of what awaits them, so you need not worry about fear spoiling the meat, making it tough and bitter. Christ. He really does run a farm. Beautiful, athletic, and well-groomed young men and women of different races smile sweetly at you. Their cheerful looks aren't marred by the slightest hint of intelligence. These slaves remind you of happy and well-fed sheep grazing in the pasture. The slaver's eyes widen and he starts to speak, nearly hyperventilating. Just recently, one of my slave hunting crews returned, bringing me a most beautiful gift. A group of young, fresh, pure Aasimar girls, full of mouth-watering innocence. All of them are beauties in their prime, caught with the utmost care, unwounded. Shamira will take an interest in them, I wager. Because of her origin, she loves having her fun with Aasimar. There are countless ways one can use such a valuable acquisition. Though, if you ask me, the smartest way is to treat yourself to a medium-rare fillet with rich, meaty gravy. Alrighty then. The Aasimar women look pale and scared, but even in captivity they manage to retain their dignity and refuse to let the demons savor their fear. As Diunk continues his nauseating commentary, they raise their chins higher and do their best to maintain cold, attached expression. Okay. I want to do the options. Don't you get it? You're going to be eaten. The pleasure slaves erupt in frightened exclamations. Whimpering pathetically, they turn their trusted gazes on the demon. Some have tears gleaming in their eyes. One of the slaves builds up enough courage to respond to you, petulantly retorting, "What are you talking about? We are slaves intended for exquisite pleasures, not livestock. Our job is to please and satisfy the tastes of the most influential and mighty demons, to entertain them, to be their pets. Who would kill such a valuable asset just for food?" Demons who don't give a shit. Aha! Hey, what do you think you're doing? Stop messing with the heads of my sweet little pets. Daddy Diung loves you all, and he'd never eat you. Isn't that right, my sweeties? Oh, well, we've got this in the bag. Diplomacy! They're fattening you up like pigs for slaughter. They're demons. They eat people like you. Animalistic terror distorts their beautiful faces. Staring at you with childish accusation, Diung's pets start wailing and jostling one another. Oh. Somewhat unexpected. Not he would come at us, not at them. Diunk slowly maneuvers his massive body towards the nearest slave, a slender young boy with long fair hair and soft features. With a lazy swipe of the demon's claw, the boy's lower jaw disappears and blood starts gushing from the terrible crimson cavern where his jaw used to be. The boy blinks in dumb bewilderment, and then a wild, bestial howl erupts from his throat as he falls. Demons wearing wolfish grins crowd in from every corner of the market, savoring every moment of their victim's helplessness. Damn it! Who asked you to tell these idiots the truth? They're like cattle. They go wherever they're led until they see the butcher's knife.
We won't fall here. I swear it.
Oh. I'm perfectly fine killing him. In point of fact... Ooh, uh-oh. Oh, well, the guard is not happy with it. $58? Hot damn. Anyways, we're not out to do this. Basically, I'm trying to experience all of the different dialogue choices. So before we get into a fight, plus also I'd rather that kid not get eaten. So. Yeah, boy. Actually, before we get more stuck in with some of these conversations, this is a pretty good place for us to go ahead and... Ooh, athletics check. Ooh. Okay. Pretty good place for us to go ahead and end this episode. If you're watching on Twitch, stick around. We're going to keep playing. If you're watching on YouTube, hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time for more Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.